Well, the final roster is set, and I'm not too happy about all of it. Let's talk about it here on Locked On Blues.
Hey, this is Braden Chen.
Subscribe to Lock On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today on Locked On Blues, I want to talk to you about the roster. The final roster for opening night is set. It is ready to go. But I also want to talk about how I'm still upset over a few players that did not make the opening night roster, and one of which is not even on the St. Louis Blues anymore. Well, I didn't expect him to make the roster, but we'll talk more about it. And then, yes, we have hockey this week. Yay, hockey is back. Let's go. To the cup. No, I'm joking, but that would be nice. I also want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The St. Louis Blues released their opening night roster, and it is going to be against the Minnesota Wild this Thursday. I am excited. I missed hockey. Well, I missed regular season hockey. I had so much fun in this year's preseason. Well, at least the last two games where the guys really lit it up. But I am just so ecstatic to see the boys back on the ice actually doing their thing when it matters the most, which is obviously regular season hockey. Game 1 out of 82. Okay? It is insane to me that we're already in this place, but it's good for the Blues to kind of get a reset, right? Especially after the way things went last season in the in the playoffs, not the best. So this is going to be your opening day roster. Let's get into it. For forwards, we have Texier. I was not shocked about that. I thought Texier had a really good season last year. Obviously, he's going to be playing for Team France in the Olympics. So, again, I commend Texier, and I think he's a really good player, and he has so much potential. Next, we have Captain Braden Shen. Yes, Captain Braden Shen made the team. No surprise on that one. If you're surprised about that, I'm sorry. That's crazy. And this goes by numerical order, by the way. Then we have Alexei Turchenko. Again, Alexei, just such a good player on that fourth line. And again, a player that you can count on. Robert Thomas. I know that's the biggest surprise today. Robert Thomas made the opening night roster. No, I'm playing, but come on now. We're in the A again this season. It's so nice to see that. We also have Jimmy Snuggerud, who made the opening night roster. So congratulations, Snuggy. I know that Coach Monty was also saying that, he can't be too comfortable at camp and he needs to just focus on making the team. So he's like, don't go looking for apartments just yet. I had a feeling all along that Snugs was going to make the team. But again, you need to have that mindset of what if you don't? What if I don't? What if he doesn't? Because the reality is you can think you're going to make the team, right? But if you show any laziness at camp and you don't play the game that they expect you to play, yeah, you're probably not going to make the team. So I'm happy that Coach Montgomery did say that, only for the sense that you need to push these players, especially the young ones. And I don't think Jimmy Snuggerud by any means has an attitude issue, and that's not what I'm implying. But to be the best hockey player possible, you need to have a coach that is truly going to push you and try to get the best out of you. And I feel like that's what Coach Montgomery did for Jimmy Snuggerud throughout this camp because he did look really good on the ice. We also have making the team, no surprise on this one, Pius Suter. Another non-surprise is Jordan Kyrou, and I do suspect one day that Kyrou will wear the A in one way or another. I am such a big fan of Kyrou. We also have the Aussie Nathan Walker making the team. I am such a fan of Nathan Walker, so I'm really, obviously happy, that he's here and he's extended. Another non-surprise is Jakey Neighbors. We also have It's Always Sunny, Oscar Sundquist, your most likely fourth line center for the season. We have Matthew Joseph making the team Mojo. We have Boostat making the team Holloway. That is right. Dylan Holloway is back. He's not injured and he's ready to play. And finally, for our forwards, it wouldn't be the St. Louis Blues without Bushi. So those are your forwards for the upcoming season. Well, at least opening night. Again, things can obviously change. But for me, at least, this is just so exciting. I am so ready to get back into it and nail it feels real. But we also need to talk about the defense. Philip Broberg. Again, no surprise on this one. Like I'm saying, Philip Broberg, like anybody had any doubt. Cam Fowler, obviously. Now, this might be a little bit of a surprise to some, not for me. These next two, Logan Mayu. I am so happy for him. Obviously, he did play those 6 games with the Habs last season, and it wasn't good, right? It was a little ugly. But he gets his opportunity here in St. Louis. I mean, he played well in the preseason, and he does add a lot of depth to the defensive core. So I'm really excited for that. This one I'm surprised about a little bit more than I think most people might be. And I was a little shocked that we didn't see another name on here. And this is where things get really interesting. Matthew Kessel. I know. And I guess for some of you, you might be like, Hale, why is this surprising to you? Um, I just didn't necessarily expect it. Okay. I thought that maybe a player that I'm gonna not name in a little bit, like Milan Lucic, he might have made the team. He didn't. So for me, I was a little bit surprised about that one. Next, we have one of our A's, and that's Colton I was gonna say Pareko. See, I was trying to like get it with the A. So Colton Pareko, and then we have Justin Folk, obviously, and then another player making the team, Tyler Tucker. And Tux, I think he redeemed himself at camp. I know that Monty wasn't too impressed with him, but I do think that he was able to redeem himself, and obviously you're going to need him on that third pair, so it makes sense. Now I know the position that every single person is questioning, who's going to be in net for the Blues? Well, I can tell you this. It's going to be Jordan Binnington and Joel Hofer. like no, it always does crack me up because it's at the end of the day, we know who it's going to be with that one position only, and all the other positions, it's kind of like, well, who's going to make it? Who's not going to make it? But that is your opening night roster. So congratulations to all of them. It will be a home game, obviously. So we will be, having all the introductions. Always really fun to be able to experience all that, especially for the young guys. So congratulations to them. And coming up, I'm a little upset over a couple players. One is a player who did not make the team that I thought should have made the team. And the next is a player that, well, he just isn't here right now. And what do I mean by that? Well, he's just with another NHL team. And this is why sometimes waivers suck. But before I talk to you about that, I tell you about my wonderful friends at Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all in one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, and get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Personally, I love using Monarch because it is so easy to use. To have everything in one easy to use place just makes my life feel a lot easier. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks and use code LOCKEDON NHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. So let's talk about why I'm upset. Because there's a few players that my heart is kind of breaking for. And when I was reading you the opening night roster, I didn't mention one name. And the name that I didn't mention was a player that I personally feel like should have made the team because I felt like he really did deserve to make the team. And we can talk maybe about a couple other players that maybe should have made the team, right? Like I thought Otto Stenberg played well. But ultimately, Dalibor Dvorsky did not make the Blues team for opening night. He is going to be with the Springfield Thunderbirds. And again, great opportunity for him. I mean, he was an all-star last year for the T-Birds. I personally, I'm frustrated beyond belief. And I want to get into that. In an episode I did about a couple weeks ago, I broke down every single statistic that Dvorsky has. Literally every single statistic possible. Juniors, whatever, you name it, I broke it down. I feel like he has so much potential. He played great, by the way, in the preseason games that he played in. And he played a lot of games. I feel like this was really undeserving. I felt like them setting him down was a slap in the face. It really was. Because at the end of the day, Dvorsky has so much talent. Give him a chance, put him on the ice. And I know what you're going to say. Hale, they can't keep all those guys. Okay, let's play devil's advocate here. Okay? Because I want to look at this opening night roster and tell you why I'm a little bit more frustrated than you think I am. I am not trying to disrespect any of the wonderful centers that we have, right? Robert Thomas, Braden Shen. We even have, it could be Bukestad, it could be Suits, it could be Sonny. I'm not trying to disrespect any of those guys, right? A lot of those guys can play both center and wing, right? But I just feel like you need to give Dvorsky a chance. I do. And I know that this is a different position, and you may be like, Haley, what? But the fact that a player like Matthew Kessel can make the team, and I know that he's a defenseman, and I know Dvorsky isn't, but just follow along with me, frustrates me. Because in my opinion, no, he did not look good at camp. In my opinion, Tyler Tucker didn't look so great at camp. And I know, again, defense. When we're talking about our forwards, if I'm being honest with you, do I think Suter looked the best? Do I think Matthew Joseph looked the best? I'm just saying the truth. I'm sorry, but like they should be on the team, and I'm not denying that. But I'm just speaking to you candidly. Yeah, maybe some of the guys didn't look the best. Okay, and that's a fact. That's not even like that's a fact to me because it's my opinion. So to me, that's a fact. I can't fathom that Dvorsky will be starting off this season in the AHL. I really can't fathom that because the AHL is a developmental league. It is. And I feel like what I saw from him at camp, he looks NHL ready. I'm not a coach. I don't claim to be a coach, but I have been working in hockey for a long time. And I can kind of get a little bit of a sense of when a player is NHL ready. And in my opinion, that is Dvorsky. So yeah, I'm annoyed. Okay. There's no way around it. I feel like that honestly was beyond stupid. And I'm not trying to call anybody in the organization stupid. Just as a fan, I feel really frustrated for Dvorsky because we all have players that we really root for and that we really want to see. And I think there is a little bit of bias with that, right? and you can't deny that. And for me, yeah, I have biasy. I am such a big fan of Dvorsky. And I'm not going to hide that. And I'm not going to deny that. That's just the inevitable truth. So when it comes to speaking the truth, yeah, I'm going to speak the truth. I'm not going to lie and say to you, oh, well, you know what? It's okay. He will develop, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I don't care. Like, yes, um, I care. I do. But again, I just feel like he should have made the team. And I'm not, I really cannot apologize to you about why I feel that way, okay? I can't. I can't do it. And a couple people commented on my videos, Haley, what happened? Why are you even happy about the fact that he didn't make the team? Like, this is your future in Dvorsky, okay? This is somebody that's going to be one of your future star players. Like, you should root for him endlessly, day after day. So I don't want to hear any of that baloney of, you know what? He's young. Don't be so dramatic. I'm allowed to be annoyed. When I broke down all the stats in an episode a couple weeks ago, please check that out. I encourage you to. I don't get why you wouldn't give him a chance. You're giving Logan Mayu a chance. And I know the defense is a little bit rough, and I'm very understanding of that. But he is still a young player that you're giving a chance. So why not extend the same courtesy to Dvorsky? I'm just saying. And he's been in your organization for years. So to me, yeah, I'm frustrated. Another frustrating situation was Colton Ellis. The Blues put Colton Ellis, who is a goalie, on waivers. And you know who claimed him off of waivers? One of the worst teams in hockey. And I'm not talking like about the scumbags of Chicago or San Jose or anything like that. I am talking about like literally, I think one of the worst teams in hockey who is probably never going to make the playoffs. No offense. Who honestly doesn't have much going for them right now. No offense. But the Buffalo Sabres claimed our 25-year-old goalie prospect. We selected Colton in the third round of the 2019 draft. And he actually did pretty well in the AHL with a 923 save percentage in 58 games across the two seasons. Um, Here's the thing. Due to his age and contract status, he was no longer waiver exempt, which actually is a thing. So the Sabres claimed him. I mean, I didn't really expect that. And I know that with our goalies, right? We're good. We have Binner, we have Hofer with, the two guys. We also have Will Cranley, we have Z. Like we have a good amount of players, right? But I think what's frustrating about this is that he did have a really good couple seasons with the T-Birds. So it is a little bit frustrating. I just did not expect in any single way for him to be claimed off of waivers. I didn't think anyone was going to touch him. Um, I can't believe it, honestly. I was so surprised to see that. I'm like, wait, are they being so for real right now? But yes, they claimed him. Well, you know what's also so for real right now? FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get 300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because there are so many ways to win. I've been building parlays. How about those player props? And even following the live lines during games makes football even more exciting than it already is. The script writers, they always have something in store for you, but FanDuel makes it even better. So, what are you waiting for? Visit fanduel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. This week, the regular season of the NHL begins again. And I am so happy about that. You have no idea. And unfortunately for us, it begins, well, not for us, but unfortunately, well, yeah, for hockey fans, it begins tomorrow with the first game being the Florida Panthers hosting the scumbag Chicago Blackhawks. I'm sorry. That to me is so insane. You're telling me the first game of the NHL season, the defending cup champs are playing the Blackhawks. And I know why. It's because of Connor Bedard. Like, it should be something competitive. Like, I would love to see like the Panthers and the Stars, like something where it's super competitive off the bat. Not this. Come on now. No one wants to see that. We also will be having the Rangers Penguins. Again, boring. And then late night hockey, we have Kings and Avalanche, which honestly I think will be good. I'm actually kind of excited to see the Avalanche in action because they make me super duper nervous. So I'm actually wanting to kind of scout and see what's going on. We have a fun one on Wednesday with the Maple Leafs and the Canadians. And yes, our good friend Zach Bolduc is on the Canadians. Maple Leafs, obviously, Craig Berube. So if you have any interest in that, we also have Caps and Bruins. Boring. Bruins suck. We have, again, another scumbag team, the Vegas Golden Knights. We don't like the Vegas Golden Knights on this podcast against the Kings. So the Kings will be playing back-to-back games. Insane. And then we have the Oilers, and Connor McDavid, by the way, was extended for 2 years, 12 million AAV against the Flames. Then on Thursday, it is basically a full slate of hockey. So I'm going to go over this really fast. Because I'm just so excited. I usually don't break down like when every team is playing, but hey, listen, it's opening week. We need to talk about it. We have kicking off the slate. Red Wings hosting the Canadians, Panthers hosting the Flyers, Penguins hosting the Islanders, the Lightning hosting the Senators, the Sabres hosting the Rangers, the Bruins hosting the Blackhawks. Boo, both of those teams. We have the Canes hosting the Devils. I'm pretty sure they played each other in the playoffs too. We have the Jets hosting the Stars. Yep. Should have been us playing the Stars in round 2. We have the Predators hosting the Blue Jackets. The best team in hockey. The most exciting team in hockey. The most talented goalie in hockey. Yes, I'm talking about the St. Louis Blues. We're hosting at home at Enterprise the Minnesota Wild. A good Central Division showdown in this game. Excited. We have the Avalanche and the Mammoth. We have the Kraken and Ducks, the Canucks and Flames, and then 2 teams that I really do not like at all, the Sharks and Golden Knights. So I will not be watching that game to end the evening. So it's going to be such an exciting week of hockey. I cannot wait. A lot happened in hockey land. Wayne Gretzky's extended. John Tortorella joins the ESPN broadcast. Chris Pronger, he joins Amazon for some broadcasting stuff. I wish him good luck. He got back to me. So shout out Chris Pronger, Blues legend. Obviously the McDavid extension. So yeah, it was a pretty big day in the NHL today. But most importantly, we're so close to seeing the Blues back in action. I miss regular season so much. We also have a lot to talk about with, again, players individually, the team as a whole, and realistically, where do we see this team going this season? I will talk to you tomorrow, like always. And like always, how we end every single episode 1, 2, 3. Let's go, Blues.